Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the week 9 garden update. Today we have some exciting stuff. We are going to be transplanting the romaine lettuce, but we're not going to be actually transplanting outside in the buckets because it's unfortunately, I think, still too hot. In fact, last week we had a heat warning. Today we have another heat warning, and I think some of the days will be triple digits above 110 degrees. So I really don't want to take any risks and just completely burn out the seedlings outside, but we are going to transplant them into a bigger location, specifically the romaine lettuce. That way it can kind of start to get bigger, maybe start to grow some leaves, and that way when it is a little bit bigger, we can finally transplant it outside. And by the time it is a little bit bigger, hopefully it will be a lot fresher, and the romaine lettuce will thrive outside. I do have some supplies to my right. You might be able to see this garden, this pail. It's filled with soil. I have some other stuff here too, but we will get to that in a second. First, I want to go outside and show you guys how the cherry tomato is doing and one curious thing that happened. Yeah, we will be right back after we go outside. Alrighty, everybody. So here we are outside with the bucket. I just wanted to show you guys the tomato. I think it got even taller from the last week. So I think this one over here on my left is the tallest. So it's doing really, really good. I can't wait for it to get even bigger. So it's doing awesome. It's doing great. I'm really excited about this one. One of the things that I want to show you guys, something interesting that happened was this bucket here. It looks like possibly some grass popped out. I don't think it's spinach or cilantro or green onions or anything. I thought for a second at first it was a corn. So, anything could happen. Maybe I accidentally threw a corn kernel in here or something and it just sprouted. But I don't think so. I think it looks like grass. It might be just a weed because for past 2 or 3 weeks now, they cut the grass in my apartment complex and they let it dry out. And I think some of the and then it got really windy, so I think some of the wind threw some seeds around and probably just dropped some of those dry seeds in here. But yeah, I think it looks like a weed, to be honest. Looks like grass, but I'm gonna keep it in here for now, just because there's nothing in here right now. But if it is a weed, I'm just gonna end up pulling it out because it'll impact the water, available water in the bucket for the other plants. But yeah, this bucket's still doing good. This bucket has a tomato, and like I mentioned last week, we're just keeping the soil hydrated and nice and firm and ready for the plants to be transplanted into here. As you can see, it is very sunny today. The positioning of the sun has changed though. These three buckets get sun for about 4 to 5 hours a day directly hitting them right here. You can see this one already has some. This one's going to get some in like an hour or two, and this one will have about in 2 to 3 hours. This one will have even some more sun. So all of them get really good sun. So I'm going to have to think about whether I want to move these buckets somewhere else, more shaded, or really track the sun and how much hours of direct sunlight these buckets get. Because some plants like direct sun. Like I know the tomato would probably like it. It'd probably do okay. But I'm gonna wait for it to get bigger, and maybe I'll bring one of that bucket down and one of these up here for like cilantro, which I think might be more prone to damage from the sun. Yeah, we might have to reorganize some of these, but yeah, we'll keep that in there. Honestly, I think it's a weed, maybe grass or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Probably just pull it out later. But yeah, the tomato is doing really, really good, and I like it, and it's doing awesome. I can't wait for it to give me some cherry tomatoes. Yeah, let's go back inside. All right, so we are back inside. So let's go over the stuff I have over to my right. So we have the pail full of soil. This is the same soil that I used to fill the seed starting kit, the seed starting tray, a couple of weeks ago. So I had some leftover. I just hydrated it a little bit and got it ready to go so I can use it in these guys right here. These are cups. I believe these are 14-ounce cups, a little bit smaller than a red solo cup, but I figured these were nice because, as my wife pointed out, they're nice and clear. So you'll be able to see as the roots and like the plant just gets bigger, the root system expands. You'll be able to see all that cool stuff. And I already did drill a hole in the bottom. It's a 1/2 inch drain hole in the bottom. I think that should be more than enough for the water to drain. Either way, we're not going to be over watering or just extremely watering these plants just because they're still really little. The root system can only absorb so much. So that's why we're going to put them in these cups so that the root system can expand and get a lot healthier, and hopefully the plant gets a lot bigger. And that way we can transplant it outside and be really confident that it'll do good. I have one, two, and let me see, three here, because I do have three romaine lettuce, as you remember, three romaine lettuce that ended up doing really good, and we're going to transplant them in these cups today. And these will be to scoop out the dirt in a little bit, and I have an extra cup right here. But yeah, and put these aside for a second. Just get them out of the way. There we go. And I have a little water bottle here. It's just a little squirt bottle. You usually use these for sauce, like ketchup or mustard or something. But I just have plain water in here. We'll use these to water in the plants once we actually get them into the cup. So that'll be cool, nice and easy. And I'm trying to be careful with this because I don't want it to get ruined in any way. But I have popped out a seedling from the tray. This is one of three. I already popped it out, and I don't want to mess with it too much so that the soil doesn't dissolve too much, because in the bottom some of it did dissolve, but it's mostly intact. It should work. And I'll just pop it into the cup and we should be good. And yeah, I do have I found this tray. I had it. This tray was for something else completely different, not even garden related, but we're just going to use it as a drip tray for the little seedlings here. One of the things that I did consider, I think I'm going to go back to my garden supply store and buy the little habitat with the tray on the bottom and the little clear shell on top. That way we can have some of that humidity level in the for the plants. So I might go back in the next couple of days to the store and buy that tray. For now, this will do. That way we don't make a mess when we actually water the plants. And then we'll actually use it right now. That way we don't make a mess on the table. So I'll get one of these cups here. And I do have the rest of the tray here, but in a second I'll come around the camera and point it directly so you guys can see how much of a forest it's become, because that's a really good way to describe it, because everything has sprouted. Really tall spinach, really tall cilantro, onions, everything has come out. But those are typically okay in a smaller space. They typically just grow up. The root system is usually pretty shallow. One of the things that I might consider doing is the green onions shortly, but I might have to put those outside just because their root system isn't super deep, but it isn't. I don't think they'll thrive in there much longer. So maybe next week we'll think about transplanting the green onion outside if it's better. But this week's still really hot. But for now, we're just gonna scoop out. I already measured in this pail about 3 cups worth of soil, so I'll try to fill. That should be good. All right. And then fill it up real good. Let's try not to make a mess. Come on. All right, this is not. There we go. Let's just use my fingers. There we go. I'm actually not going to fill it up all the way yet. That way I can drop the seedling in there and then cover it around it once I actually do. That'll be, I think that's good. That way it's not super on top. Compact it down a little, not too much. It's actually a good call that I used this tray, because I would have made a mess on the table by now. Anyway, yeah, now that we got the cup filled, we will carefully orient. Yep, see, it's starting to dissolve in my hands, so let's just pop this guy in there as carefully as possible and start to grab some soil around. I'll just do it with my hands carefully. It mostly wants to lean forward, so yeah. All right, this looks good. Just carefully do that. All right. Looks like I'm gonna have to cut the video here momentarily while I figure this out, make sure it gets oriented nicely, and we will be right back. Alrighty, so after that brief intermission, I have gotten all 3 romaine lettuce to fit nicely in these cups. The first one, which is the leftmost one, I had some tough time kind of getting it set up in there, which is why I had to cut the video. But it looks like I got it decently. It's kind of leaning over. I'll come around in a moment and take the phone off of the tripod and show you guys and zoom in more of what I'm talking about. But it's kind of leaning on its side. I hope it does good. It was leaning on the side in the seed tray anyway, so hopefully it starts to get stronger. I think I know what what was causing it to lean over. But the next one here is another one that's came out. It came out nicely. I had to kind of bury that one a little deeper because that one just kind of wasn't really playing very nice. But this third one, which is the most rightmost one, came out really, really nice. And this is the one that I'm extremely excited about because the whole little pod just popped out. Let me see if I can do it with this one. This one didn't come to fruition or anything. I think this tray just this pod just ended up drying out, but the whole thing just came out as one whole piece for the third one, this one here, and I just plopped the whole thing in there, and it was perfect. And it's actually oriented beautifully, and it's gonna look really nice. Let me see if I can bring that up to the camera. Like I said, I'll come around with the camera right now and show everything a lot more close up because I still want to show you guys the whole the big tray and show you guys how everything is going. But yeah, all I did to pop these seedlings out, if you guys are curious, is just stick my finger underneath, and there's a hole where the drain hole is, and I just stuck my finger in there, and I popped it out. And this is another one. This one didn't come out. Nothing came out on this one either, but this is another one. Looks like a tiny cake slice, real tiny. And then I was just grabbing the little chunks and just plopping them into the cups. And yeah, oops, well, that was a fail. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, that was the only 3 out of 5 that came out. They're ready to go. I think right now, like I'll show you guys what the plan was for this. I was just gonna grab it and open it up, and this third one was actually drying out a little bit, so I'm glad I actually transplanted it already. So I'm just gonna like just squeeze a little bit of water in here, not that much. I don't want to overwater now, just a little. That should be good. And then just dropping in a few drops here and there. This bottle really makes it easy. I'm glad I came up with this idea. And drop in some more water on this one. All right, a bit more on each. And there we go. Should be good. To start off, we'll just water them in. This whole tray will sit by the windowsill where the big tray sits, and we'll get some sun. Like I said earlier, the only thing I'm worried about is the humidity. Saplings tend to really like humidity and tend to do very well in humid climates. So I might consider buying another starting tray and not use the pods and just put the cups inside of the big tray and then have the big clear shell on top in order to conserve some of that humidity. But we'll see. We'll see how these do in the next couple of days, and then if needed, I'll go and buy one. But yeah, we will transition over to me being behind the camera, and I'll zoom in on these cups. I'll put them closer to the edge, and I will show you the cups, and I will show you the tray, how it's doing, and I'll probably have to clean up after. But yeah, I'll be right back. Alrighty, everybody. So here we are with the lettuce that have been transplanted. This is what I was talking about. Some of these are just leaning over. I feel that's because maybe the soil isn't as supportive for these and the root system. Because the one for this one, which is the one that I'm most excited about, look at this one. This is nice and perky, standing up. That's because the soil on this one was actually a lot more drier than these two. As you can see, this one here is also kind of just laying down. But I think that's because maybe the soil wasn't firm enough. Maybe it was too moist, and it just kept falling over. But I'm hoping that in these cups they have room to expand their root system, and they'll get taller and perkier, just like this one. I'm really excited about this one. So yeah, we will see how these do. Let me transition these over to the back here because I have them under the lamp so I can show you guys. And let me bring over the larger tray. There we go. There we go. Let me slide it in here. There we go. All right. Check it out. We have everything. Let me move some of this stuff in the background so it doesn't get in the way of the shot. Here we go. All right. Cool, cool. All right. So here we go. Look at that. We have all kinds of things growing in here. The spinach, the cilantro's growing. Like I said, it looks like a forest, honestly. everything came out. This row that's empty now, I'm going to clean it out nicely. Make sure there's no soil left, like this one has some still left. I'll clean them out nicely. And this is where the lettuce was. But everything else, cilantro, spinach, green onions, they're all doing really good. Everything came out nicely. But yeah, these green onions were leaning over for a while, but as they got bigger, they got stronger and they got prickier and taller. So that's why I'm hopeful for the same thing to happen with the lettuce. Now that they have more room, they'll expand more and grow taller and prickier. But yeah, we have spinach, we have cilantro, everything is growing nicely. And I'm really, really excited about it. I was on vacation for a couple of days and I came back and I saw how everything was doing. I was really, really excited, really happy with everything. And but yeah, let's see here. I'm just trying to see, make sure I check off everything that I wanted to talk about. But yeah, everything is going really, really good. We got the lettuce transplanted into the bigger cups. We're gonna keep tracking those. And yeah, we're really excited. It looks like everything's doing good. Hopefully, we can transplant outside soon. But yeah, I think that'll be it for the week 9 garden update. Thank you, everybody, so much for following along so far, keeping with us and watching. Let us know if you have any questions or comments, and like and subscribe to the video. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram and on TikTok. I try to post as often as I can. But yeah, thank you very much. This was the week 9 garden update. Bye.